Ever wonder why imported goods like TVs or trainers cost more than you expect? It's not just about shipping or brand names, there's something else at play that affects the final price you see on the shelf. One big reason is tariffs, a special kind of tax that's added to goods brought into the country from abroad. Tariffs are collected at the border, and they can have a big impact on what you pay. For example, when a UK company imports products from China, the government may slap on a tariff as soon as those goods arrive. This extra cost gets passed down the line, so you, the shopper, end up paying more at the till. Tariffs are designed to protect local businesses by making foreign goods more expensive. The idea is to encourage people to buy products made at home, supporting domestic industries and jobs. But there's a downside. If tariffs are set too high, everyday items can become unaffordable for many families. Remember the 2025 holiday season? Many Americans cut back on spending because prices soared on imported goods. Tariffs can also spark global chain reactions. Other countries might retaliate with their own tariffs, leading to trade wars that disrupt supply chains, close factories, and hurt businesses both at home and abroad. This kind of uncertainty makes it tough for companies to plan for the future. It affects everyone, from farmers who export crops, to tech firms relying on global parts, to small business owners trying to keep their doors open. Tariffs don't just change prices, they reshape entire economies. They impact your weekly shop, influence local job markets, and even shift the direction of the national economy. That's why the US Supreme Court's review of President Trump's tariffs is such a big deal. It's not just about politics, it's about real-life consequences for millions of Americans. This isn't just a legal issue, it's about the prices we all pay, the way American companies do business with the world, and the choices we have as consumers. The outcome could affect your wallet, your job, and the future of American trade for years to come. So next time you see a price tag, remember, tariffs might be part of the story. In April 2025, President Trump dramatically escalated tariffs, citing national security and unfair trade practices, especially targeting China. The announcement sent shockwaves through global markets, as investors and trading partners scrambled to assess the implications of this bold move. Some tariffs soared to 125%, aiming to force supply chains back to the US and reduce reliance on foreign goods. The administration hoped this would spark a renaissance in American manufacturing, bringing jobs and investment back home. These moves used laws like the Trade Expansion Act and IEEPA, originally meant for genuine security threats, but now stretched to cover broad economic policy. Legal scholars debated whether this was an overreach of executive power or a necessary step in a changing world. The administration argued a strong manufacturing base was vital for security, and tariffs would push change. They insisted that only by reshoring industries could America protect itself from future disruptions and foreign influence. The economic impact was immediate. The U.S. Treasury collected record revenues, reaching $215 billion in one fiscal year. This windfall was touted as proof that the strategy was working, at least in the short term. The administration touted this as a win, pressuring other countries and funding government programs. Supporters claimed it gave the U.S. new leverage in international negotiations. But critics pointed to chaos for importers and businesses, with unpredictable costs and trade friction. Many small businesses struggled to keep up with the rapidly changing rules and rising expenses. Temporary truces, like a brief tariff reduction with China, did little to ease the overall tension. Negotiations often stalled, and uncertainty lingered over future trade relations. Even non-economic issues like a fentanyl tariff were pulled into trade policy. This signaled a willingness to use tariffs as a tool for a wide range of policy goals, not just economics. Businesses scrambled to adapt, setting the stage for a major legal showdown. Lawsuits and challenges mounted as companies sought relief from the sweeping measures. The aggressive strategy left the economy volatile and uncertain, with Americans watching closely to see what would come next. As tariffs squeezed the economy, over 700 businesses challenged the administration in court, arguing the president had overstepped constitutional bounds. They claimed only Congress can regulate foreign commerce, not the executive branch acting alone. On November 26, 2025, the Supreme Court agreed, ruling 6-3 that the president can't impose sweeping tariffs without clear congressional approval. The court said national security powers can't be used as a blanket excuse for trade policy. This decision dismantled the legal basis for Trump's tariffs and set a precedent limiting presidential power over trade. The ruling reaffirmed the separation of powers. Congress, not the president, controls trade laws. For the administration, it was a major defeat. For the Constitution, a powerful victory. The message: even in global trade, American governance rules still apply. While legal battles raged, small businesses faced the harsh reality of tariffs. Entrepreneurs like Sarah Wells, who sold nursing bags, saw tariffs on her Chinese-made goods jump to 125%, forcing her to move production to Cambodia, only to be hit by new tariffs there. The financial strain led to layoffs and uncertainty. Cascada, a Massachusetts tableware company, faced a double blow: a 20% tariff on Sri Lankan imports and a 20% supplier price hike, making it nearly impossible to keep products in stock. Owners turned to high-interest loans just to survive, risking a debt spiral. These stories echoed nationwide. Furniture importers, bike shops, electronics suppliers all shouldered massive costs. Over 700 small business owners detailed $100 billion in collective losses, warning of mass closures if relief didn't come. The tariffs, meant to protect American industry, ironically pushed many innovative businesses toward bankruptcy. The human cost of broad economic policies became painfully clear. For many, survival depended on a change in policy. With the Supreme Court ruling the tariffs unlawful, the big question is, will businesses get refunds? The government collected up to $1 trillion in tariffs, now potentially subject to massive reimbursement. For struggling businesses, refunds could be a lifeline. Paying off debt, rehiring staff, and investing in growth. A refund would inject capital back into the economy, helping stabilize Main Street. For consumers, this could mean lower prices as businesses recover and competition returns. The logistics are daunting, but there's precedent for large-scale duty refunds. The key is ensuring the process is efficient and the money reaches those who paid. The Trump administration argued refunds would be burdensome, but the mechanism exists. If handled well, refunds could help heal the economic wounds of the trade war. The outcome will shape the recovery for businesses and shoppers alike. President Trump's plan to turn tariff revenue into a $2,000 tariff dividend for American families was a bold and unprecedented political move, designed to capture headlines and energize his base. The idea was simple, but powerful: redistribute billions collected from tariffs directly to households, framing it as a tangible win for ordinary citizens and a way to offset the impact of trade wars. The administration claimed this wouldn't fuel inflation, since the money came from foreign entities, not new government spending. Supporters argued it was a creative way to help families without increasing the deficit. The promise of a cash payout helped build public support for the tariffs, despite rising costs for some goods and growing concerns among economists. But the Supreme Court's ruling upended the plan. The revenue now must be refunded to businesses, not paid out to families. This legal decision changed everything overnight. The dividend, once a central talking point and a symbol of the administration's promises, is now both financially and legally impossible to deliver. This leaves the administration scrambling for alternatives, with a key promise to voters suddenly off the table and political strategists searching for a new message. The collapse of the dividend plan exposes the risks of using trade policy for political gain, and highlights how quickly legal challenges can unravel even the most publicized initiatives. The ruling not only changes trade law, but also dismantles the political narrative built around the tariffs, leaving supporters and critics alike reassessing their positions. The fallout will reshape public perception of the entire policy, sparking debate about the future of tariffs, government payouts, and the promises politicians make. The Supreme Court's decision shifts trade power from the White House back to Congress. Lawmakers must now clarify laws like the Trade Expansion Act, defining when and how tariffs can be used for national security. This sparks a major debate. Free trade advocates want strict limits on presidential power, while economic nationalists argue for executive flexibility. The outcome will shape U.S. trade policy for decades, affecting relationships with global partners. More congressional oversight could mean stability and predictability, repairing strained alliances. Broad executive authority could signal continued confrontation. The court hasn't ended the tariff debate. It's moved it to Congress, where the future of American trade will be decided. The world is watching to see what rules emerge next. The Supreme Court's decision is a turning point in American legal and economic history. It rebalances government power, reaffirming that Congress, not the president, controls trade and taxes. The ruling sets a precedent against executive overreach, demanding real security threats and congressional involvement for major trade actions. This shift promises more stability for businesses and global markets, reducing uncertainty and trade tensions. The decision is a powerful statement about American democracy. Big economic choices require debate and consensus, not unilateral action. For struggling businesses, it offers hope for recovery and a return to predictable policy. The ruling will be studied for generations, not just for its impact on trade, but for defending the constitutional structure of government. It's a reminder that, even in a complex world, the rule of law remains paramount.